Ladies and gentlemen, we are live!
Straight from the East Coast, former pro wrestler turned MMA enthusiast, exclusively on Nick Portella MMA, this is the Finished Podcast with Sean Lazarus.
Hey, what's up, guys? You already know who it is. Really big show today. A couple things I want to talk about. And we also have an awesome treat for you guys. We got a big interview with Max Payne Griffin. Pretty fresh off his win against Platinum Mike Perry. And we're going to get into all that. And so first off, we got some news that just came out today on MMAfighting.com. We got CM Punk hints that he'll be fighting again at 225 in Chicago. Now, I know there was a rumor already that this was going to happen. We don't know anything else about the fight. He was responding to a fan on Twitter. Fan was kind of being smart ass and just kind of show you what he said. He says, June 9, after I win and lock eyes with my beautiful wife, embrace my coaches, and shout out my entire team. So, I think that's a pretty good indication that he's going to fight. Like I said, there were some rumors already, and then he's talking about it now. So, what do you guys think? Who do you guys think he should fight? Do you think if he should fight? Against Mickey Gall didn't go so well. Who knows? I think his just anybody that trains as hard as he does, and just from self-experience here, that training in pro wrestling isn't hard. Obviously, it's not MMA, but it does require dedication. He had a lot of it, had a lot of heart, had a lot of dedication. That does translate somewhat to to anything. Anybody that's willing to really put that much work into it, anything can happen. Not that MMA is meant for everybody. Even if you train hard, doesn't necessarily mean you'll be successful in it. But I definitely think CM Punk has the heart for it, and I think that he has the ability to be. I think he could be successful. I think that I think he could be. Maybe not world champion successful, but I think he could pull off a couple wins. I think it's like a 3-fight. It's a 3-fight contract, if I remember way back when they were talking about it when he first came in. There was like a 3-fight contract. Maybe somebody could correct me on that. But I don't know. I think he fought too soon when he fought Mickey Gall. I think the fight that's coming up in June, this should be his first fight. Having no amateur background, nothing like that. I think this should have been his first fight coming up. So, we'll see. Like I said, tell me your thoughts on that. Maybe I'm off base. Maybe you're right there with me. I don't know. Couple other pretty cool stories. All right, so Ben Askren, the whole thing between him and GSP, kind of coming out. GSP made a comment that he respects Ben Askren a lot and thinks he's a great martial artist, but he'll never fight him. And, Ben Askren wants to come in, but he only wants to fight the best. He's talked about GSP. I don't know if anybody else is really, if he would really fight anybody else. I don't know. He trains with Tyron Woodley, so that's probably off the table. Anybody else at welterweight, I don't know that anybody is really worth coming in for if it's like a really big fight. You got Conor, but I don't think anybody wants to see Ben Askren and Conor. It's just a huge mismatch. I think Ben Askren and GSP is probably the only fight. It's the only fight he probably is willing to come in for. And that's probably the only fight that UFC is willing to put him in for, if that happens. So I don't know. Ben Askren is obviously he's awesome, and I think it's a shame that he hasn't been in UFC yet. I'm not the only one that thinks that. A lot of people think that, and I think Ben Askren coming to UFC should happen, even if it's a one-off deal. I don't know why. I don't know why it seems so out of the question to just have him come in for a one-off deal. You don't have to give him a 3 or 5 fight contract or 10-fight contract or whatever the hell it is. Just give him one fight. Give him a decent payday. to have him come in against GSP. You know, you can pretty much promote it as arguably two of the best wrestlers in MMA, you know, in the history, arguably. And it's a one-off. It doesn't hurt. It really doesn't hurt GSP too much if he loses. It definitely doesn't hurt Ben Askren. You know, what's worst case scenario? He loses to GSP. You know, same thing with GSP. If he loses to Ben Askren, yeah, a lot of people, from a casual point of view, a lot of people don't really know who Ben Askren is. So, you know, if GSP loses, they might, you know, kind of say, oh, he lost to a nobody. And obviously, Ben Askren is not a nobody. But, you know, from the casual point of view, he doesn't have that mainstream appeal. But a lot of people who's been watching MMA for, you know, any considerable amount of time know who he is, know what he's capable of. So, I don't know. With that said, we're gonna get the man. We're gonna get Max Payne Griffin on the show here in just a second. Let me just want to play a video for kind of refresh your memory. This is just kind of like a highlight reel here. Hey everybody, we're back now. We got Max Payne Griffin on the line. Man who beat Mike Perry so bad his girlfriend left him. So just
Man.
just kidding, Mike. If you're listening, just kidding. Max Griffin, what's going on, man?
I'm good, man. Good.
Good to hear. How's the
Good.
weather in Cali?
It's not bad. It's not Florida weather. It's not that beautiful Orlando weather that I miss.
Dude,
But it'll do, you know. Kind
It's-
of got spoiled out there, being out there for 10 days.
oh my god, dude, it's snowing here. It's terrible.
Where are you?
Richmond, Virginia.
Sounds cold.
Yeah, yeah. It's not supposed to be this cold this time of year. It's supposed to be in like maybe the 50s, 50s, maybe low 60s time of year. But dude, it's been absolutely terrible. We've had a cold spell come in. And it's just been almost unbearable. It really has.
The weather these days. They don't know how to do the weather anymore.
Look, man. So you're pretty fresh off the win with Mike Perry. You were pretty fairly big underdog in the fight. Did that play into your mental preparations for the fight? How did it affect you, if any, if at all?
I mean, we kind of knew we were the underdog. I mean, actually, we knew we were the underdog for sure.
Right.
I just didn't know I was going to be that low, that large of an underdog, being the biggest underdog on the whole entire card.
Right.
But and I didn't think they liked him as much as they did. I know Mike Perry had a lot of haters, and he had fans too, but I didn't know that Florida would love him that much.
Right.
But
So I guess speaking into that, what was your strategy in particular going into that fight?
we knew what he's going to do. As far as, I mean, he did it perfect. Came forward, fought emotional. It was like a dream come true that he actually fought like that. Usually you do a game plan, for in general things and whatnot. This guy, he did everything. Everything. It was perfect.
Well, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass because you're on the show here, but like one thing that I've really liked about you is like your calmness and your timing is so good. There's only a few people that I think that really have just a calmness about them when they get into the ring, and especially your last few fights, I've really started to. It's almost like you're getting more and more comfortable, and I think that's something that really, something that really attributed to your, your success, especially against him, somebody like Mike Perry, because he's so wild and he just kind of,
Totally. It's interesting, man, that you say that, because this fight is, this has been my calmest fight. This fight, it was so different mentally. Most fights, honestly,
you could tell.
It may not look like it, but they're so stressful.
Right.
It's shit, man. Like, you're fighting,
Right.
There's crowds, there's people watching on TV.
Right.
You're bloody,
Right.
It's a grueling, stressful thing. And this time, man, I don't know if it's because I'm fighting full time or I've studied him so well or what attributed to it. But this time it was like I was in the Matrix, man. Like I felt beyond comfortable. I felt like he can do anything to even harm me. Honestly.
Yeah, man.
I felt like he wasn't a threat, like, at all.
And you could tell, like you said, like all that showed when I remember watching the fight. You could tell, like, I remember, me and my wife were watching the fight. And I'm like, God, he just looks so freaking calm. Like, just, it's like every time he kept coming at you and he kept pressing forward, it's like you were just, like you said, you were just like you were ready for it 1,000%. Like he just played into your game.
Yeah, it worked well, man, and it's gonna be a lot more to come. Having this kind of performance, because you always know how you think you could fight, but you never fight how you want or do stuff you should have done.
Absolutely.
That's how fighting is. I mean, I should have do that hook or this and that.
Absolutely.
But this time, man, it just clicked. It came together, man. It was a blessing.
So absolutely, man. So I've always heard that a lot of people say that the jab is one of the most underutilized tools in MMA. I've seen you knock a few people down with the jab, and your jab, dude, your jab is and I mean this as an absolute compliment. It's deceptively dangerous because it's like when you throw it, it seems like I mean, what are you throwing? Are you throwing 50%, 60%? Like, what do you think you're throwing when you pop out those jabs, or are you just are they just that good?
It's a mix.
Yeah.
Because you can't swing that hard or you don't punch that fast, you know?
Right.
It's kind of like it's hard to explain, man. But I snap it, when I got a lot of power, and I'm really trying to work on my jab because I have so much range. So if I have so much range, at least 3 inches on anyone.
Right.
On a rangy guy, I have range.
Right.
So a guy with short arms like Perry, man.
Right.
We knew it was gonna be a clinic. There should be no reason, especially stylistically, how he fights. He just barrels those punches and wings them.
Right.
From those home runs. He shouldn't hit me with anything.
You think you're getting to that point? I guess between the, the more you work with your coaches and your team, and as you're getting more experience, do you think that the way you approach your fights is almost kind of scientific now, and so, especially in your game planning, like you said, like the way you get your game plan matched up perfectly with Mike Perry?
Yeah, I think it's also just it's time. I mean,
right.
I've always wanted to fight full time, man. Always, and I've always worked, like 40-hour, 50-hour weeks, and now I'm just waking up, going to the gym. There's no distraction, so all I can do is fight. It's my time, man. I'm telling you. Everyone always says I'm gonna be the next best thing. I'm gonna be my time, but dude, I'm telling you. People try to act like I didn't do what I just did to Perry, man. They're trying to act like he had a bad night or,
no.
He tried his best.
Right. Yeah, you could tell he was getting frustrated, especially by the third round. He was getting really desperate, and he was just popping off haymakers, trying to throw bombs, and you could tell he was getting frustrated. I don't think that was a man that was on a off night. I think that, 1,000%, you were the better man, and like you said, he tried. Props to Mike Perry, all respect to him, but you were the better man that night, and your game plan beat his game plan.
Yeah, I just seen a lot of commentary and stuff about how he had a bad night, or he wasn't throwing. He tried his best. I just literally fought the fight that I wanted him to fight. I put him where I wanted him to be. I stepped where, people don't know. I mean, if you watch it, it's basic. He has to set. He's not fluid puncher. He has to sit down, bite down his mouthpiece, and throw. Right. And if you don't let him set, he can't throw. It's simple stuff that a lot of people just don't even realize. They just, he wasn't throwing. Well, he couldn't. He was getting hit. You know what I mean?
Right. What are your thoughts on? What are your personal thoughts on Mike Perry before the fight and after the fight?
I don't know. Before we were cool, like a month or two ago. And then he started talking a lot of shit, and then it was kind of cool, it's part of the game, so I kind of played along with it. Right. But then, but after the fight, he was just classless, man. I was going to give him credit and respect and stuff, but he couldn't stand in the ring, Right. Like, how am I supposed to act on there? And then, I don't know. I want to reach out to him and say, "You're a fight man," but I don't know if he deserves that. Honestly.
What would you say to him if he was on the line right now? What would you say to him?
Man, much respect, man. Thanks for giving me that fight. You got hella hard. Fuck, dude.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But thank you. I truly appreciate that he gave me the opportunity to fight. He talked a lot of shit, but I think honestly he knew what was gonna happen the whole time. He knew. He knew, man. Maybe not that bad. Right. But he had some kind of sense that I wasn't just some schmuck. That he was just gonna run over.
So you talked about training full time. How long have you been training full time now?
Since January. Since the beginning of January. I quit my job.
What was that like, man? So what'd you do? Dude, I'm full time UFC, got a huge fight coming up. You can shove it. What was that 2 weeks notice like, man?
I mean, they knew it was coming.
Right.
They knew the 2 weeks notice was coming for 5-6 years. You know.
Right.
But they knew it was coming. You know, and after my last fight, they know I got the bonus. I think they just didn't want to accept it.
Is there anybody you're eyeballing? Anybody in particular you think that you may kind of want for your next fight? I'm not not necessarily
No.
call out, not really call out, but
no, I said I'm not gonna say any names until I get my contract.
I got you, man.
That was my last fight on my contract. So I'm just trying to get signed and then fight. I mean, there's a lot of good fights, man. There's a lot of guys that I know I can beat.
Yeah.
And it's for me to be a guy like Mike Perry, and he was the man. Everyone was scared to fight him. I mean, everyone acting like he's not shit now, and it's like he was shit the other day. You know.
Well, what's the phrase, man? Like, what have you done for me lately? Right? It's like fans. Yeah. I think fans on I'm sure even UFC, it's like they have short memories. You could have a balls of the wall fight, one day, and the next day you might not, and they just kind of act like they don't know who you are. So
yeah, it's short-lived,
So just kind of speaking in the news, man. So just kind of off topic a little bit. Stuff that's kind of in the news. Tyron Woodley talking about training Floyd Mayweather for a UFC fight. What are your thoughts on that?
He's trying to get out of that Colby fight, man. He's trying to get out of that Colby fight.
You think that's what it is?
I don't know. I just feel like when's he gonna fight? He's not gonna fight, right? He should have a fight.
I know he's in rehab. I know he's been rehabbing a shoulder injury.
Okay, well, I guess they did have an injury.
Yeah, I know he's been rehabbing. I think it was, and forgive me, I don't know the exact timetable for his return, but I think he was shooting for, if I'm not mistaken, like summertime.
Okay.
So I don't know if he's shooting for, June, July, August, something like that. But,
is he really gonna fight? Is Mayweather really gonna fight?
Dude, I think that's, I
don't know.
I think there's a good possibility he fights in the UFC. I don't think there's any chance against a top name, a top contender. I don't think there's any way. I think he fights someone. I could see him fighting someone, because, obviously Floyd has skills, arguably best pound for pound boxer ever, and obviously that he's got the stand up, well, at least with the hands.
Yeah.
I think that given some preparation, some simple basic takedown defense, basic, leg kick defense, stuff like that. I think maybe he could do something, just as long as it was the right matchup, and as long as it was somebody with equal, a fairly equal experience. But
yeah,
as far as the whole Conor Floyd thing,
I couldn't see that. That wouldn't even be.
And that's not me on Conor's bandwagon or anything. I just don't. It's just mismatched.
Yeah.
Same as it was with him going in there against Floyd. I was obviously I'm more of an MMA guy and I was pulling for Conor, but I'm not. I'm realistic.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think Tyron Woodley is. You're right. I think he's kind of buying his time a little bit. He's got a lot
He's
of.
trying to make some money, man.
For sure, man. He's got some stuff.
Game, man. It's about making money, so I get it.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of people hate on him for that because he's trying to, he's got the show on TMZ. I think he's doing a couple different podcasts. He's got his hands dipped into a lot of pots, and I don't think there's a thing wrong with that because.
That's how you make money, man.
Right, and with MMA, with any type of any athlete, you're only going to be able to fight for so long. Eventually, it will be over, and you got to, like you said, you got to make your money. You're going to get in, get out, and do your thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know who Woodley's going to fight next. I don't think anybody does. I think he's trying to get that money fight. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, but I
would too.
But I think you're right. I don't think him and Colby. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know who Colby's going to fight. I don't know. I really don't know. But so as far as a couple other hot topics that's been kind of coming up too, it's it's kind of been kicking the fires again recently. Is them really starting to pick up steam for this MMA union. What are your thoughts on that? Should there be one? Should there not be one?
Oh, I'm staying out of it, man. I'm staying out of it until I get a contract, till I get my stuff. They've been taking care of me.
Right.
I get it. I get how how it was before with the sponsors and how much they make and how much UFC makes and WME and all. I get it.
Well, I mean, I guess you don't spoil anything you don't want to say, but I mean, how close are you? Are you guys in negotiations again?
They said they want to negotiate, so we're just working with it,
Yeah.
They said they want to reside, so we're just going through that,
Just waiting
getting
on
enough money. I just want to get paid, I think I'm worth a little bit of money. So,
yeah.
But the union, I think the UFC's taking care of me. Although, they may have tried to get me thrown in the wolves a few times, which is what I expect.
Yeah.
They taking care of me. They gave me the bonus, and then they had me fight on Fox for the millions.
Right.
I'm happy. I'm happy as a clan, man. Especially as an unranked guy to go fight basically someone ranked.
Right.
On TV, you know what I mean? Main card. I mean, that's love, man. So I'm happy. I'm happy with what they pay me, and
Well,
I'm not gonna complain.
I know you said you don't want to talk about who you want to fight next to your contracts coming up, but I mean, where do you think this puts you?
I mean, I hope I can find a ranked guy or someone that's in the mix. I don't think I could fight someone down.
Right.
I mean, I can technically, but I don't think I would.
Yeah. Why would you want to? Why would you want to?
I don't want to.
You just beat the brakes off Mike Perry. Why would? I mean, no offense to anybody, down, but why would you want to go down? You want to go up.
Yeah, as far as rankings and all that, I want to climb my way up. So, I mean, I hope it's someone that'll help me get there, and I hope they want to see that. 'Cause like I said, no one's done it to Mike Perry. I watched this Ponzinibbio fight. He was getting busted up. I watched all the fights. I was like watching them now. Like, damn, he's landing on these guys. Just to see, like, was he really not dangerous, or did I just do that to him? But I've been watching all the fights lately, man. Perry's good, man. He's good.
I think, I think he is that dangerous. I just think that, like you said, your game plan just shut down because, like you said, he's got to set up the punches. You weren't allowing him to set it up. So like you said, I think he is that dangerous. I think he is good. Even after you beating the brakes off of him, I think he's a good fighter. But your game plan it nullified his game plan completely.
I mean, I had kids. I want to go to bought a vacuum from one of my hood homies today, and his daughter was like, that guy wasn't even that good. I'm like, he was good. He was. She's like 10, I'm like, no, he is good.
Does it almost seem like a?
You're taking the thunder away, man.
Yeah, like it almost seemed like a double negative because you were so good it made him look that bad.
Yeah, I guess honestly, a lot of the things are like, he had a bad night. He looked terrible. It's like he didn't look terrible.
No,
I just looked real good.
You just shut him down. Yeah, for sure. So we got a really big pay-per-view card coming up, 223. When you see Ferguson, you see Khabib. First off, do you think it's actually going to happen this time? And secondly, who do you got?
I think it'll happen. And Khabib's a bad dude, man. But I got to go with my boy Kevin, man. We fought on some cards together. He's a cool dude, man. He's good people. It's going to be tough. It's striking. It's. I'm going to go with Tony, man. Even though dude's like never been beaten, Khabib, and he's coming. So I'm just gonna have to go with Tony. He's a little slaker, and I know, I got to give him respect.
I agree with you 1,000%. I think Khabib coming into this fight, I think right now he's got the bigger hype train. But I think Tony. Well, I guess it depends on who you ask. But just from kind of the circles, I hear a lot of Khabib. So, but
most of it is Khabib, probably.
Yeah.
I bet it's 75-25 Khabib.
Yeah, you're probably right on that. But yeah, I think that Tony. I don't know, man. Tony is scrappy. I don't know that. You know,
he makes it happen.
Yeah, like Barboza was dangerous, and again, that's just like the same way with you and Mike Perry. I think Khabib was so good and shut down Barboza. Barboza is dangerous as fuck.
Yeah, that's like someone saying that Barboza ain't nobody no more.
Exactly. Right. And like people were saying Barboza was garbage. Well, that's not really true. It's just that Khabib was that good and he shut down Barboza. Barboza is still a bad dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I think Tony's scrappiness and I think his bottom game.
He gets real good jits and real weird jits.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a long night, and I think it's gonna be decision. I think Tony wins it by decision.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I don't see him finishing him or anything. Khabib or any of them getting finished.
But both those dudes are bad dudes. But I don't know, man. I worry about that card that falling apart with obviously their past history. But
yeah,
something I'm really worried about. But man, Max Griffin, man, we appreciate the time. Best of luck to you. I'm sure you're gonna get that contract, and I hope it's exactly what you want. I hope you're getting everything you asked for. And
thank you, man. I just want to fight. I felt like I showed some shit on the 24th, man. Biggest underdog. I feel like it's my time, and I'm just I honestly feel like this next fight is when they're gonna start believing. Like before, this one, I feel like they don't know what to say. Like their jaws are dropped. Like shit.
I don't know, man. I think you got a lot of believers this last fight. I really do. I really do. But I hope your next fight, man. I hope you get a big fight, and we'll be pulling for you. But
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, man. Just take it easy. Just when you get big, man. Just when you get that strap, make sure to save a conversation for the little guys like us. So
it's all up, man. Where we came from,
I hear you, man. All right, buddy. We'll be signing off with you.
Thanks so much.
All right, everybody. That was Max Payne Griffin, and it was great talking to him, and big things coming his way. But hey, guys, if you like the podcast, please like, subscribe, please comment below. And, we got our Facebook, we got our Twitter on the side over there. Please, all our social media mediums, please like and follow and, whatever. You guys know the deal. And, please just reach out to us and let us know how we're doing. And, we want to produce the best content for you. So just please give us a shout. And until next time, my friends, have a good one.